Right now at 6, the city of Carthage has a settlement in its lawsuit with the former city administrator, but admits no wrongdoing.
And we've got a warm and muggy start out there. Warm and muggy into the afternoon and breezy. Have a look at that forecast. Get you out the door coming up.
Plus, we take a look inside a wastewater treatment plant to see how clean water makes its way to your house.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. At 6 a.m., I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Thursday. It's May the 15th, and we are now just about halfway through the month of May. Unfortunately, though, we are also now entering the peak of severe weather season here in the 4 states, and we do have increasing chances for strong to severe thunderstorms over the next several days. And we'll go over those details with you in just a few more minutes. But first, we got to get our Thursday started, and we're going to start with our look outside downtown Pittsburgh from 4th and Broadway. Looks pretty good. We've got some clouds here and there. We're looking at partly cloudy skies through the day. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline also looking good this morning as well. Every so often, you'll see it bobbing around a bit because we've got those gusty winds, and those winds will remain gusty. They're beginning to shift out of the west already this morning. Eventually, they'll be out of the west for all of us. Could get an isolated shower or storm along and south of I-44, say between about noon and 5. Honestly, we're looking at maybe the chance for 1 or 2 little storms or showers. Nothing much expected from that. Majority of us will remain dry, muggy, and breezy, but those rain chances will begin again to increase heading through the weekend. By 8 o'clock, skies beginning to clear and winds will start to ease up a bit as well. So here's what we're looking at over the next few days. Again, there's that chance for an isolated shower storm south of I-44 today. Tomorrow could have an isolated or scattered severe storm, strong or severe storm tomorrow south of I-44. And then Saturday night, we have an isolated to scattered risk for strong, potentially severe thunderstorms as well. And again, in the southern part of our area. It won't be until Sunday, Monday, Tuesday that we see the severe risk over a broader portion of our area. Temperatures, very warm this morning already. 76 in Joplin, 75 in Pittsburgh. Now again, out west, see, we got this little boundary pushing through. It's not significant, but it's dropping temperatures a wee bit. That's why we're a little cooler today. 67 now, Yates Center and Sedan, 68 in Independence. But ahead of that boundary, we've still got mid-upper 70s. So a muggy, warm start ahead of it, but a little better back behind. And you can see where those winds beginning to shift out of the west as this boundary pushes on through. Kids get on the bus this morning. We are looking at partly cloudy skies, low 70s. South winds gusting to 25. Again, winds gradually shifting out of the west, still gusting to 25. Partly cloudy this afternoon, low 80s. And again, maybe an isolated shower or storm south of I-44. Our highs today, as I mentioned, maybe a few degrees cooler than yesterday, but not by much. Low to mid 80s out there, partly cloudy skies, and of course the gusty west winds. Skies again clear out tonight. Most of our Saturday looks good as well, but we got that storm chance tomorrow. We have it Saturday, and it increases through the weekend. Details on all that in the full forecast. That's coming up here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, an intense fire leaves a Stark City home destroyed. Around 2:45 yesterday afternoon, reports of a structure fire at 25727 East Highway 86 alerted first responders in Newton County, Midway, and the Missouri Highway Patrol. Smoke could be seen from miles away. Midway Fire was on the scene for more than 3 hours working to contain the fire. No one was home at the time. The Missouri State Fire Marshal has been called in to help with the investigation of the fire. Now it's unclear at this time how the fire started. If you have information, please contact the Newton County Sheriff's Office. And now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. The player is also available on our news and weather apps as well as our website. Watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free. The KOAM Plus TV streaming app. Well, a lawsuit claiming retaliation in Carthage is now settled. The city of Carthage settles its lawsuit with former city administrator Greg Dagnan. Now, Dagnan claims council members and officials retaliated against him for reporting theft within the administration and violations of law. In April 2024, Carthage City Council voted multiple times to fire Dagnan, but Mayor Dan Reif initially blocked the decision, citing Missouri Sunshine Law. Now, he said the vote was not listed on the meeting agenda. Dagnan's lawsuit notes several instances in April and on May 10th when the council falsely announced his termination. On May 30th, the mayor allowed the council's decision to stand. Dagnan filed his lawsuit on May 17th before learning he would be let go. Fast forward to February when a judge issued a partial ruling, and now the city of Carthage has settled the rest of the lawsuit with Dagnan. Specific details of the settlement were not released. The city's insurance covered most costs, with the city paying a $1,000 deductible and denying any wrongdoing. Authorities in Massachusetts launched an investigation into a former Cherokee County, Kansas deputy and a juvenile. The Fall River, Massachusetts Police Department contacted the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office last month regarding the investigation. The police department launched the investigation after discovering what appeared to be an inappropriate relationship between Garrett Gayoso of Baxter Springs and a juvenile in Massachusetts. After verifying the information with the assistance of the Kansas Bureau of Investigations, the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office placed Gayoso on administrative leave. The deputy has since resigned. Last week, an arrest warrant was issued for Gayoso for the charge of obscene material. Gayoso's attorney says plans have been made for Gayoso to surrender himself to law enforcement authorities in Massachusetts. Baxter Springs Public Schools is alerting parents that a case of whooping cough was diagnosed in an individual associated with the high school. According to a letter sent to parents, the respiratory illness is highly contagious. It spreads through coughing or sneezing. Those considered a close contact should expect a call from the Cherokee County Health Department. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, some Carthage residents got a peek behind the curtain yesterday about how the water and electric plant works. CWEP hosted 2 tours of the water treatment plant. The goal was to educate the public about how Carthage treats and delivers safe water to residents.
So this is the filter media. This is what's below in the filters, and it's what filters out any contaminants in the water and makes it safe and clean.
CWEP is in its 125th year of serving the residents of Carthage. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Dick's Sporting Goods is nearing a multi-billion-dollar deal to buy Foot Locker. Plus, Sean Combs' former girlfriend testifies again in his federal sex trafficking trial. Plus, we have a warm and breezy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from Main Street in Joplin ahead of tonight's Third Thursday. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning, the Wall Street Journal is reporting Dick's Sporting Goods is nearing a deal to buy Foot Locker. Citing sources, the outlet says the deal would be for about $2.3 billion. According to the report, the deal could be finalized as soon as today. The potential deal would allow Dick's to expand outside the U.S. It also comes as retailers have been hit hard by President Trump's tariffs, especially those on goods from China, which is crucial to the sneaker industry. Well, today, Sean Combs' former long-term girlfriend is back on the stand for a cross-examination in his federal sex trafficking trial. For the past 2 days, Cassandra Ventura detailed what she described as years of physical, sexual, and emotional abuse at the hands of the 54-year-old music mogul. The prosecution alleges Combs ran a criminal enterprise to coerce victims into sex. Combs has pled not guilty. CBS's Jared Hill is in New York with the latest.
Spending hours on the stand, Cassie Ventura dug in on claims of abuse and intimidation during her decade-long relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. Now 38, Ventura testified she didn't have the resources to leave Combs, saying she was afraid for her life and career after performing in countless drug-fueled sex sessions, some of which she says Combs recorded, and that he would often threaten to release them if she didn't comply. The jury was shown still images prosecutors say were taken from some of those videos. Ventura's lawyer, who represented her during her 2023 civil lawsuit, which she told the jury resulted in a $20 million settlement from Combs.
She told her truth. I wouldn't want to be having to do that cross-examination.
The prosecution alleges Ventura was one of a number of victims of a criminal enterprise Combs ran using abuse, intimidation, and drugs to coerce people into sex. Criminal defense attorney Caroline Polisi says the case hinges on consent.
You'll see the defense really try to seize on small, specific issues, like, for example, it was Cassie that paid the escorts, or other things that could imply that she was the one that wanted to engage in this type of behavior.
The defense has maintained that while Combs had violent outbursts at times, he's ultimately not guilty of the charges against him, including sex trafficking and racketeering. Combs has entered a not guilty plea to all charges in this case. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Combs' lawyers argued Ventura was a smart and capable woman who chose to participate in what Combs viewed as consensual encounters. Well, still to come, a new study links type 1 diabetes with a higher risk of cardiovascular disease. Plus, Chris returns with another look at your Thursday forecast. Well, in Minnesota, one family is dealing with unexpected visitors. Frankie McLister spoke with the homeowner who says they keep waking up to a family of black bears.
So we get up, and actually we saw them outside too, out the back, so they were more out back.
It's been nearly 4 years since Tammy Madsen and her husband purchased their Isanti County home.
Our camera goes off constantly all night long, and he gets up and checks it, and he goes, oh, they're back.
They, as in the neighbors they haven't met.
We looked out, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's 5 bear out here. One large, one kind of medium, I would say, and then 3 smaller cubs.
Black bears.
They've been here every single day. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Today's Tuesday, been here 3 times today.
Which is now what she's slightly on edge about.
They were right there in front of the patio door, just looking at us. I'm afraid. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Because they've also caused destruction.
You can tell that's a claw.
Well, bears were caught on cameras just like this one. But the family says, what would you do for the next steps? Here's what they're thinking.
We probably call the DNR and see if they have any recommendations for us.
Because she's not playing the game Goldilocks did.
But the little bears are so cute. They're like climbing the trees and everything. And I mean, they're really cute, but never expected to see a bear, not in my backyard anyway, and not right by my front door.
Minnesota Natural Resources officials say any residents who see a bear outside of its normal range should report it. Now let's head over to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a muggy and warm start to the day, a bit breezy as well. You can see that MoDOT camera there shaking a bit in the wind. We will be warm, muggy, breezy through the day today, and our thunderstorm chances begin to gradually pick up starting tomorrow, and some of those could be strong to severe. Another full look at your forecast, breaking down those details for you when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Coming up on 621 on this Thursday morning. I got a lot to discuss in terms of our thunderstorm chances. Now today, most of us will just simply be warm and breezy and a bit on the muggy side. Temperatures a little lower today than what they were yesterday, but we will do some warming. However, along and south of I-44, between about noon and 5, I'd say, we could get an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Not much expected from it, assuming we even see it, but there's going to be that opportunity, at least briefly, for an isolated shower or storm. Otherwise, we will clear out through the evening and overnight. Winds will shift out of the south before they switch back up out of the west as we roll into our Friday. Friday, though, morning, between about 8 a.m. and 11 a.m., there's something that we want to keep a very close eye on. I'm going to explain why and show you. This thunderstorm, it's showing up on some of our future track data, and it's been showing up now for a couple of days. If this storm materializes, and I do want to emphasize that part, if this storm actually develops as future track is expecting and at the time frame it's expected, it will be entering an environment that will be very favorable for it to intensify and potentially become strong, perhaps severe. So we want to keep a close eye on it because, in all honesty, tomorrow's storm chances, this is it. After that, it's done for Friday. In fact, we won't see storms again until late Saturday night. But this is a storm that we do want to watch. You can see it's confined along and south of I-44, but it's also at a very early time, which is something that's been a bit unusual about our severe weather lately, is it's not been coming at times we're traditionally used to. But we want to watch that possibility, at least, for that strong, possibly severe storm tomorrow morning, because again, the atmosphere here will be very favorable for it to potentially intensify if that storm develops. So just make sure you got the KOM Skywatch weather app. Make sure you're staying weather aware. Outside of that, not much going on. We head into our Saturday. We're a little cooler by noon, upper 60s, low 70s, but we'll start heating up into the evening, back into the low to mid 80s, and we're going to get our atmosphere prime for additional shower and thunderstorm development again Saturday along and south of I-44. Really, even if you stretch it back maybe along Kansas-Oklahoma line, south of that point is where we could see additional strong, possibly severe thunderstorms late Saturday. I'd say after 9 a.m. and then 9 p.m. and then by 1 a.m. Sunday, we're pretty well done with that activity as well. So tomorrow, there is an isolated tornado risk, just kind of barely clipping us. The concerns with that storm at this point, the greater concerns are for hail and for wind as a possibility. So something we want to monitor. Now, once we head into Saturday, it's the southern half of our area. We have that isolated to scattered risk for strong, potentially severe storms late Saturday into early Sunday. As for the rest of today, partly cloudy skies, muggy. We will be a little cooler than yesterday by just a couple of degrees, but it will be muggy and it will not feel very comfortable like it doesn't this morning. 76 by 880 by 11 o'clock this morning. Our highs today eventually low to mid 80s, and we'll have those west winds gusting upwards of 25. As I mentioned, skies will begin to clear out late this evening and overnight. Temperatures tonight cooler, still a bit above normal, but closer to normal. As we go back into the low 60s, south winds 5 to 10. So what happens as we roll into Sunday afternoon? So we have those storms that could roll through late Saturday. They'll be gone. We go Sunday noon, looking okay initially, but then we're watching for additional strong, potentially severe thunderstorm development by Sunday afternoon and evening. Now remember, on this future track, this is not a huge complex of rain. It is thunderstorms, showers will be possible in these areas, and the darker colors, the greater the chance. We go overnight Sunday into Monday morning, showers, thunderstorms again, strong, possibly severe. By Monday morning, they're clearing out. Then as we head into Monday afternoon, a few isolated storms in our eastern counties possible, and then by Monday evening, late afternoon, early evening, additional strong, possibly severe thunderstorms begin to develop and push into the area, continuing from Monday evening through early Tuesday morning. Tuesday, a couple of isolated showers or storms possible by the afternoon, but as we go late afternoon and evening, another round of possibly strong to severe thunderstorms will develop. So this is Sunday's severe weather outlook, which, as you can see, is just to our west, but it's clipping our far western counties here. Then as we head into Monday, that risk starts to push east. Now, it's most of our region is in this risk area for Monday night into Tuesday. And for Tuesday afternoon and evening, the risk continuing east, but still encompassing a good portion of the area. So there's a lot we want to keep an eye on. You want to stay weather aware, keep the Skywatch weather app handy, because we are looking at least at the possibility of multi-day severe weather events. We could have these severe storm chances over the next several days, with the greater chances starting to roll in from Sunday through Tuesday. Outside of that, we stay hot, or at least warm. Temperatures low to mid 80s all the way through next Tuesday. Then we'll cool back a bit into the 70s with more storm chances toward the end of next week. That's checking your forecast. We're going to toss it over to Lise now with Health Watch.
All right, well, people who develop type 1 diabetes in adulthood have a higher risk of cardiovascular disease and death. A study published in the European Heart Journal found the link seen in patients diagnosed with diabetes after the age of 40 is often caused by smoking, obesity, and poor blood sugar control. Treating those problems can help reduce the risk of heart disease. And the stress of the death of a loved one or a divorce, also known as broken heart syndrome, can lead to health complications and even death. The American Heart Association found a surge of stress hormones caused by an emotionally traumatic event can lead to severe short-term heart failure. The rate of death is 6.5% and is twice as high in men. And we may soon be able to treat an infant's genetic disorders in the womb. A study by UC San Francisco says there's growing evidence doctors can treat prenatal genetic disorders by injecting medicine into amniotic fluid. Now, there's treatments only been tested on animals so far. That's a look at Health Watch. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, the city of Joplin offers a unique way to encourage historic preservation.
And it's warm and muggy as we start this day, warm and muggy as we head into the afternoon, and breezy as well. Look at that forecast, get you out the door. Coming up.
Plus, the Nevada community came together to enjoy a good lunch and support a good cause.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Thursday, May the 15th, and it is going to be a warm and muggy day. Speaking of warm, what just happened before we went on, coffee's hot. Fresh coffee's hot.
Right.
And to take a little sip. Somehow I didn't take a little sip, and that really burned.
Ouch.
That burned a lot. And it's almost as burning as like the heat we saw yesterday across the air. Very hot day. Not as hot, but still muggy out there for us today as well. Let's start with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Remember, sip that coffee slowly or let it cool down a bit. Don't try and chug it. Looking good otherwise out there. MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline looking good as well. Folks getting their day underway. So on to the future track we go. I know it's showing. That's what happens when you burn your tongue. Showing some showers out west. That is not looking very likely. What we are looking at, as you saw briefly around Cassville, could get an isolated shower storm along and south of I-44 between about noon and 5. Outside of that, rain chances are pretty negligible today. It's just going to be warm, muggy, and a bit breezy. Winds will ease up though as we head through the evening. Skies will begin to clear overnight as well. So here's that risk for an isolated shower storm down south of I-44 today. Tomorrow we have an isolated to scattered risk for strong, potentially severe thunderstorms, which we'll go over with you in a moment. And that is also true Saturday in the southern half of our area for Saturday night, late Saturday night across the area. And again, we're going to break down all of our thunderstorm chances because we actually have areas highlighted in our region for severe weather for the next several days. And we're going to break that down. All right, 76 in Joplin right now, 75 in Pittsburgh, and temperatures around the region. We have this weak boundary coming through. It's not bringing much with it, but it is bringing cooler air. 66 now, Yates Center and Sedan, 68 in Independence, but you get ahead of it right now. We still have that southwesterly wind. We're still into the mid to upper 70s, but it is bringing some slightly cooler air out there. However, we can take a look at the dew point in Joplin real quick, if this will play for me. This is what I'm talking about. See, our dew point is 71. So yeah, right now, no heat index, but the air is still very thick, very muggy outside. Bus stop forecast. Kids getting on that bus. Partly cloudy, low 70s. South winds gusting upwards of 25. Eventually, all of us get in on those west winds later. Still partly cloudy, gusting to 25, though, on those west winds and low 80s. Our highs today headed for the low to mid 80s. But once you factor in the humidity and dew point, it is going to feel a lot warmer. Partly cloudy skies proceeding through the evening hours. As I mentioned, we'll clear out tonight. We got storm chances tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and some of those could be strong to severe. We'll break down those details for you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, springtime is here, or is it winter? Well, with temperature swings in the 4 states, sometimes it can be difficult to know what season you're in from day to day or even hour to hour. Now, that can leave you switching between heat and AC on your thermostat at home, sometimes all in the same day. That can make it a challenge to keep your home a comfortable level. Now, one local HVAC expert says one thing that can help throughout the year is humidity control.
I would encourage people to add dehumidification to the house, a standalone dehumidifier that could remove humidity without changing the temperature of the house.
Tonight at 6, we'll hear more tips on how you can stay comfortable inside when the weather outside is a bit uncomfortable. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app. Well, it was a big signing day for a purple dragon yesterday, but not for sports. John Lee, a student at Pittsburgh High School, signs to take his military skills to the University of Southern California's Naval ROTC.
Through being in that environment for a little bit, I've just learned that it connects so many people in such strong ways, and it also just builds you up as an individual to where you can be the true form of yourself while also spurring that same growth from everyone else around you.
Upon graduation from the university's Naval ROTC, midshipmen are commissioned as Marine Second Lieutenants or Navy ensigns. Well, Missouri Southern student athletes, coaches from President Pass and donors gathered yesterday evening for the unveiling of the new Rod Anderson baseball clubhouse at Warren Turner Field. Now, the clubhouse features a locker room, coach's office, and a meeting room. It's named after Rod Anderson, a 1976 graduate of the Plaster School of Business and longtime supporter of Missouri Southern athletics. And community members in Nevada, Missouri had the chance to get lunch while supporting a good cause yesterday. On My Own is a nonprofit which works to help support those with disabilities so they can remain living independently in their own home. Yesterday, the organization hosted its 10th annual Disability Awareness Lunch fundraiser where community members could buy meals and proceeds would go to the nonprofit. The event also allows the community to learn about the organization's mission while helping to raise money to support those in need. Well, history will meet fun this weekend during a treasure hunt in Joplin. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more about the event.
Paula Callahan is a hairdresser at Paula's Beauty Shop in Joplin, but in her free time, she's a volunteer with Historic Murphyburg Preservation Incorporated.
Joplin has rich, beautiful history. Found this was a boom town, in the 1900s, so there's a lot of history, a lot of stories.
And this Saturday, that organization is kicking off its very first treasure hunt to celebrate Historic Preservation Month and to take participants through Joplin's most iconic locations.
Everybody's going to get a little pink wristband. They're going to get instructions, the rules of the game, and then we'll give the clue at 10 o'clock and everybody spreads off across town.
Participants will solve clues that lead them to historic sites and landmarks across town.
The clues will be in order. You will see a sign like this at each of the locations.
Callahan, who's on the planning committee of the event, says the goal of the hunt is to create a fun way for residents to delve into Joplin's rich history.
Little tidbits of history, and we hope they go in and do more investigating and find out more about them.
Callahan encourages everyone from the community to come along for the adventure.
I hope to see a lot of faces. I hope to see a lot of new faces.
Reporting in Joplin, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
The first person to solve all the clues in the correct order wins a $1,000 prize. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Boeing and Qatar Airways sign a multi-billion-dollar agreement that will create thousands of jobs in the U.S. Plus, Uber has announced a new route share service for commuters. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from Main Street in Joplin ahead of tonight's Third Thursday. In Consumer Watch this morning, well, think twice before tossing those old kicks. Your sneakers could have a second life. Christian Benavides shows us a sneaker recycling.
We want to recognize everybody who brought out a pair of shoes.
This donation box at Miami's Brickell Run Club asks runners to recycle used sneakers that would otherwise wind up in the trash.
Typically on a weekly basis, we'll probably get, maybe 20 pairs of running shoes that people are deciding to part ways with.
Frankie Ruiz is the Brickell Run Club's founder.
We collect them every week. We fill up probably one of these boxes once or twice a month.
The footwear, gathered from drop-off locations across the country, lands at a warehouse near Miami's Little Haiti neighborhood.
Something like this right here should never be tossed away.
This is Sneaker Impact's headquarters, where shoes are sorted to be reused or recycled, depending on their condition.
It's all about accountability, sending the right product to the right market. Sneakers are a necessity in developing country. It's a form of transportation.
All of the reusable shoes are shipped outside of the U.S., where they're eventually resold by mom and pop shops in the developing world, in places like Haiti, Honduras, Guatemala, and Bolivia.
You're not only reducing waste here at home, you're creating micro-business opportunities in developing countries.
Shoes not shipped out for resale are crushed to begin a second life as foam, rubber, or textiles.
Those could be made into flooring, into mats, into tiles, and we've also made a sandal from 85% sneaker foam.
Owner Mo Hatcham says his goal was to develop an environmentally friendly way to do business.
This is important. I mean, there is no planet B. Sneaker impact should be the last resort. Reuse, upcycle, give to your neighbors.
Extending the life of sneakers to help people and the environment. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
With President Trump and the Emir of Qatar present, Boeing and Qatar Airways inked what the airline is calling a historic multi-billion-dollar deal for at least 160 large planes, including 130 Dreamliner aircrafts. There's also an option for an additional 50 planes. Qatar Airways also signed an agreement with GE Aerospace for more than 400 engines to power its Boeing planes. Boeing says the deal with Qatar Airways will support 400,000 jobs in the U.S. Well, an urgent warning, the Consumer Product Safety Commission says you should immediately stop using certain bathroom and kitchen sink faucets sold on Amazon because they can leak lead into drinking water. All 4 brands listed in the agency's announcement were made in China. The CPSC says so far none of the companies have agreed to an acceptable recall. And Uber has introduced a new bus-like route share service for commuters. The company says route share costs up to 50% less than a traditional UberX. Now here's how it works. Passengers are directed to meet shuttles at stops along a preset route at a set time, with vehicles running every 20 minutes. For now, route share is only available in 7 major cities between the busy rush hour times of 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's a look at Consumer Watch this morning. Here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we have got a hazy, muggy, warm start for us on this Thursday. We will be a few degrees cooler than yesterday, but still on the warm and muggy side with gusty winds as well. We have strong, potentially severe thunderstorm chances increasing over the next several days. We'll go over all those details with you when we come back. All right, time for those Thursday birthdays, and we are going to start with Cassidy McCoy celebrating birthday number 13. Says happy 13th, Cassidy. Love Mom and Dad.
And a happy 23rd birthday to Abby Noland in Chanute.
And heading over to Scammon, Stephen Natalini celebrating birthday number 60 today. Happy birthday.
And in Columbus, a happy 87th birthday to Kenneth Frobish. It says happy birthday from all your younger cousins.
And staying in Kansas, heading over to Erie, where Ron Olson is celebrating birthday number 88. Says happy birthday to my husband and best friend. Love you.
And a happy 17th anniversary in Lamar to Julie Cox and Corey Pitts.
All right, another great list of birthdays and anniversaries this morning. And of course, if you would like to celebrate with us, Elise has information you need to know.
Yes, go ahead and submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@koamnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those wonderful messages and photos to meet the deadline at the bottom of your screen, and to please include the date of your celebration when submitting as well.
Absolutely, very important there. And I've got some very important weather information for you over the next few days. That's what we're going to start with. All right, today, future track showing some showers in southeast Kansas. That's not very likely. What we are looking at, though, between about noon and 5, could get an isolated shower or thunderstorm south of I-44. Most of us will be dry, and the shower chance there is very low. We may not even get that one, but it's a possibility. So just a heads up on that. Otherwise, we are warm, we are muggy. Our temperature is a little cooler than yesterday, but not significantly so as we head through the afternoon. Now, late this evening and overnight, our gusty winds will at least briefly ease up for us, and skies will clear out heading into our Friday. There's something we're watching Friday, and I've talked about it. If you haven't been with us this morning, maybe you're just getting over here. There is a thunderstorm south of I-44 expected to develop tomorrow morning, say roughly around 8 a.m. or so near Tulsa. It will roll up just south of the Turnpike and into the Missouri side of things by about 9 o'clock in the morning. Now, for Friday's storm chances, so far, looking at all the data, this is it. This is the only storm expected tomorrow in our area. But here's the problem. Looking at that same data, this storm, if it develops, will be entering an area in which it will be very favorable for it to intensify and potentially become severe. We've got to watch it very closely. It's the only storm out there on this whole thing in the morning. And that's the other thing, is it's in the morning, not in the evening, not our usual time, but about 9 o'clock in the morning while we're at school, we're at work. So just keep that in mind. And again, this is if this storm develops and takes this track, the atmosphere here will be very prime for it to become strong to severe rather quickly. We want to watch it very closely. Now, at this point, the primary concern with it would be large hail and damaging wind gusts, but there is a low tornado risk as well. So we just want to watch that possibility. Like I said, though, at this point, too, that's the only storm throughout the day Friday. After that, a couple of lingering showers, and we clear out. We are warm and we are breezy yet again as we head through Friday afternoon and evening. We go into Saturday. Saturday is a little cooler to start. Upper 50s out there for most of us, but will eventually warm up. It takes a little longer, though. Saturday at noon, you can see temperatures into the upper 60s and low 70s with some sunny skies. We'll start to go partly cloudy. Temperatures by the afternoon and evening, though, start to increase. And they go into the low to mid 80s. And then by about 9, 10 o'clock Saturday night, another complex of strong, potentially severe thunderstorms will develop, mainly in the southern half of our area. And it will push through as we go through the overnight hours. So between about 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. Sunday, so 9 p.m. Saturday to 1 a.m. Sunday, could get some additional strong to severe thunderstorms. Then over the course of the next several days, those chances become a little more widespread, which we're going to show you in just a moment. So tomorrow, again, that isolated tornado risk is there, but it's way over there right now. We have is the isolated to scattered hail chance and wind chance. All right, now again, if that storm materializes, large hail, damaging winds are the primary concerns, but we still want to watch it very closely because, again, the atmosphere tomorrow in our area will be primed to help fuel that storm, again, if it develops. Now, once we go beyond that, I'm stepping to the wrong side. So that's tomorrow's threat. And then Saturday, again, late Saturday night, very early Sunday morning, southern half of our area, we have an isolated to scattered severe thunderstorm chance out there as well with that activity. For today, though, partly cloudy. It is hazy. I took the camera. Usually we try and show you the sunrise. It's difficult to see. Not because of clouds. It's just so hazy. It's causing the sun to be blown out on our cameras. But we're mid-70s by 8 o'clock this morning, about 80 by 11 a.m. Partly cloudy skies, low to mid-80s for those highs, and those west winds gusting to 25. Into the evening we go. Skies will eventually clear out near 70 by 10. Overnight lows right about 60 with those south winds at 5 to 10. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is what happens after Saturday. Sunday, good portion of the day is dry. By late Sunday evening, now again, future track, rain's possible in these areas. It doesn't mean it's going to be a huge area of rain, but we have shower and thunderstorm chances across the region as we go through Sunday evening. Some of those could be strong to severe. They're wrapping up Monday morning. Then by Monday afternoon and evening, another batch of strong, potentially severe thunderstorms starts to roll through from late Monday through early Tuesday. A few isolated storms in the afternoon Tuesday, and then we could get additional strong to severe thunderstorm development out there as well. So quick look. This is Sunday's severe weather outlook. Right now, the bigger concern is just to our west, but by Monday, most of the area in that severe weather concern, and by Tuesday, as it continues to push east, the eastern 2/3 of our area in that zone as well. So a lot to keep an eye on. Make sure you're staying weather aware. Make sure you've got the KOM Skywatch weather app, and of course, we'll keep you updated as we get closer with these storm chances. Well, I've now looked at your forecast news you need to know in just a moment, and when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., or if you hang out with us here on KOM Plus, we're going to tell you about an engineering student taking a senior project to heart by designing a working prosthetic arm for his sister.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Fall River Police in Massachusetts launched an investigation after discovering what appeared to be an inappropriate relationship between Cherokee County, Kansas Deputy Garrett Gayoso and a juvenile in Massachusetts. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office placed Gayoso on administrative leave. Gayoso has since resigned. Gayoso's attorney says plans have been made for Gayoso to surrender himself to law enforcement authorities in Massachusetts. The city of Carthage settles its lawsuit with former city administrator Greg Dagnan. Dagnan claims council members and officials retaliated against him for reporting theft within the administration and law violations. Specific details of the settlement were not released. The city's insurance covered most costs, paying a $1,000 deductible and denying any wrongdoing. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
As you head out the door, warm and muggy this morning. Again, an isolated shower storm south of I-44 between noon and 5. Otherwise, majority of us dry, partly cloudy, low to mid 80s, west winds gusting to 25. Winds ease up a bit overnight, south at 5 to 10, down to 60. Skies clearing out as we head later into the evening. Could get that thunderstorm tomorrow morning, so we want to keep an eye on that with our strong to severe thunderstorm chances building in starting tomorrow through next Tuesday. So several days of thunderstorms worth watching. Saturday, they'll be late and south of I-44, but by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, that threat expands across a broader portion of the area.
Right, and coming up today at noon, we're making stuffed chicken muffins in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, a Pittsburgh Purple Dragon will take his high school skills to the next level for military training.
Plus, Captain Austin Wolf from the Joplin Police Department joining us in the studio to talk about why it's important for drivers to be aware of children riding their bikes this summer. Got to always watch out. That's going to wrap it up for us for now, though. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.